You've just entered the No Delusion Zone. I'm David Dubato. This is the first of what will be a series of relatively short videos, podcasts, in which I tackle some of the most important issues of that day in just a few moments. I realize that many of you, if not most of you, don't have the time to sit down to some of my longer podcasts in which I interview some of the most important figures internationally, leading experts on various topics. So I thought if I could condense a topic down to anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, that might be something that most of my viewers could get into and would watch and hopefully learn something. We will learn something from each other, actually. So this is the first of that series. So I'm going to kick it off with what is pretty much on the top of mind with pretty much anybody and everyone who does study international affairs and geopolitical analysis or geopolitics, specifically what's going on in Ukraine with the war against Russian aggression. And what I'm talking about today is the unbelievable, the unanticipated, and spectacular incursion into Russia by Ukraine, which it's now in its third week. It's unbelievable. No one, except for the Ukrainian high command, expected this. And they have pulled it off in, as I said, spectacular fashion. They not only have blazed a trail into Russia, into the Kursk Oblast, and to a lesser degree, the Belgorod Oblast, but looks like they're there for a while. They're there to stay. They are establishing defensive emplacements, defensive fortifications. So they plan on being there for a while. And that has taken everyone even more by surprise, because I think most Western analysts anyway thought that if Ukraine was to launch some kind of an offensive like this, or counteroffensive, if you will, it would be relatively short, and it would be of relatively short distance into Russia, kind of a raid again, albeit with larger forces. Well, this is none of that. This is not a raid. I hesitate to call it an invasion, but it actually is. They have at least 5 to 10,000 troops, regular Ukrainian military soldiers committed to this action, and possibly a great deal more. They've committed a lot of their armor, a lot of utility, a lot of drones, a lot of counter drones and electronic warfare assets to this. It was extremely well planned. It was cloaked in secrecy, as it should be. So it took the Russians totally by surprise, which in many ways is not that difficult today. The ability of the Russian army to even get out of its own way is pretty ridiculous today. They're an embarrassment. But what I wanted to talk about today, and again, in this relatively short video, is the fact that since Ukraine has pulled this off in spectacular fashion, and as of today, they are pushing onward almost to the city of Kursk. They've got over 1,000, or I believe it's 1,200 square kilometers of area that they have occupied right now. They've seized and are occupying it. They very well may occupy a nuclear power plant just outside the city of Kursk. But what they don't have is the permission, the authorization from their Western allies to use their more far-ranging weapons, the ATACMS, the HIMARS, to name a few, and certainly not the Taurus weapon system from Germany. Look, folks, they have never been in such a good position right now to cripple Russia's ability to strike over the border into Ukraine, into the Donbass, specifically Kharkiv and the Sumy, the area in northeastern Ukraine, and even further south. They have the ability now to hit airfields, to hit oil production facilities, command and control centers, fuel depots, all of the things, the facilities and weapons that Russia has been using to attack and devastate Ukraine. They have the ability to pretty much stop Russia from attacking eastern Ukraine for a very long time, and maybe even go beyond that. Maybe even to pull a mass of Russian troops into this area to try to hold them off and relieve the pressure on eastern and southeastern Ukraine, which I believe is, of course, part of the strategy here. But they need these weapons. And NATO, specifically the United States and Germany, needs to get their act together and give them permission to use all of the long-range weapons that they possess as Ukraine sees fit. Get off their asses. Allow Ukraine to dictate the strategy of this war for a change, and perhaps even drag Russia and Putin kicking and screaming to a negotiating table from a position of strength, not weakness. So, for this video, I put out a call for NATO, including the United States and Germany, to allow the Ukrainian forces now operating in the Russian Federation to use all of the weapons at their disposal, including the long-range weapons system that they currently possess but are not allowed to use. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comments, and if you like this as well as some of my other videos, please subscribe so I can make many more of these. Oh, and while you're at it, please visit some of my comrades, Colonel Shaskovsky and Herr Krankenmüde. They're very interesting and educational as well. So thank you, and as always, take care, stay safe, and please stay sane.